Hello everyone, Will from the Jersey Nerds here. Today, I'm going to be going through some hot takes over on our Discord channel. So over on the Jersey Nerds Discord server, we've had some hot takes delivered by one of our users named Puckman, otherwise known as Puckman News on Instagram. Puckman is a really cool guy on our channel. He brings a lot of colorful insight into some of the topics we talk about, and he's kind of, let's say, semi-famous for his hot takes that he throws out there once in a while. And a few days ago, he released a hot take for every single NHL team. So 32 different hot takes, one for each team. And I thought it was such a cool list to go through, and whether I agreed with them or disagreed with them, I thought it'd be really cool to bring that to YouTube and discuss each one. In between the time that he posted that and I got to recording this, pretty much half of our channel has gone through and done the same thing. But I'm gonna just focus on Puckman's today because I thought his list was really, he had a lot of fun ones to talk about, and also his was the first that kind of started this whole thing in our community. So I might get to, if you guys like this video, I might get to some of the other ones, or some of the other Jersey nerds might talk about this on the podcast. If you guys like this format, let me know. I'll do another one. I certainly have a whole bunch of them to go through if you guys want to see them. Anyways, let's just jump into it. So the first one we got here. All right. So day one, take one. He was going to do this one take at a day, and then I think 5 minutes later he changed his mind, just dumped all of them, which I think was better. It was more fun that way, and then plus everyone else got involved a lot quicker. Anyway, take one. Anaheim's jerseys aren't bad. They should just stick with black and orange. And personally, I agree. I think I think their jerseys get a bit of a bad rap. They're not. The side panels kind of get a little hated, and that's fair, I guess. But I think the side panels are fine. I think because they're unique, um, at least with the current jersey landscape. I quite like it. I think it works out pretty well. And I don't see a need for them to really change it. And even if they should go to something different, even if they should go to like the Mighty Ducks original jersey, I think I'd prefer them in black and orange. So yeah, I completely agree on that. Take two, the Coyotes should retire the kachina fully. Um, I guess that kind of depends on what you mean. If you just mean like the literal kachina jersey that exists now, I think I agree. I think it'd be fine if they brought it back very sparingly as like a heritage jersey, but otherwise, I'd be fine to see it go. It's the idea of it's great, but it's not colored really well and it's dated. So that particular jersey, yes, I agree that it should disappear. But the idea of the kachina, and especially the kachina striping, I don't think that should retire. I think they should bring that back. I think they can evolve it with some different colors. Um, I have a few ideas here. I'll post up uh, somewhere somewhere here, um, where I think keeping the striping is good, but perhaps using some different colors in their palette, maybe the past colors that they've used, and a simpler design and a design with more contrast, I think would be ideal. And I think that would be the perfect way for them to go. But otherwise, yeah, if you're talking about just the whole jersey they're wearing, yeah, it's probably time they retire it. Take three. The Bruins look best in yellow. I don't know about that one. I think they're best. They're I think they look best in white. That might be cheating a little bit. Um, honestly, I think they look best in white. But if you're talking as like their primary darker color, I think their best jersey is their current home. And I think most of their black jerseys have hit, whereas their yellow jerseys, like the classic ones look good, the reverse retro looks good. Some of their historical jerseys are, the yellow ones are fine, But I think overall, I think they hit better in black. So yeah, I don't agree with this one. Okay, take number 4. Sabres Navy is better than Sabres Royal Blue. Um, no, no, it's not. I It was different. It was fine. Just like the Oilers Navy was fine. It was different. I think the Oilers, the original navy and copper jerseys were cool, but in no way were they better than the historic Oilers jerseys. And I think that's exactly the same with the Sabres. I think they're fine as something different. It kind of fit the Reebok landscape, I guess, but yeah, there's no way I can say that they were objectively better than Royal Blue. Take 5. That Calgary alt from 2015 isn't bad. And absolutely right. It isn't bad. It's horrendous. It is terrible. It is disgusting. No. Like, okay, you got the yoke that's kind of like weird geometry pattern that really doesn't work well. You have like the word mark with the logo beside it that the Sabres did like 2 years prior to that. The black outline on everything that's just a little too awkward and thick. You have the like Starbucks coffee house logo secondary. I do not like this at all. It is like, I know this is probably an unpopular opinion because it seems to be well liked on our Discord server. I hate this jersey. This is by far the worst Flames jersey. It is atrocious. Take 6. There has not been a bad Canes jersey. I think there's been one. And that would have been the Canes jersey when they went just red and white with the Canes logo. It has the same problems as the Tampa Bay jersey, except for at least Tampa Bay's logo is only blue and white, whereas the Hurricanes one still had black. And it looked out of place. And not only that, but it looked very similar to what Team Canada unveiled shortly before that. I can't remember how soon the timeline was on that, but I know Team Canada wore something like that, and then the Hurricanes immediately rolled out with that. And it just, like, I mean, it's a fine jersey in a vacuum, but considering how considering their past looks, it is extremely disappointing. So I'd call that one bad. I don't think any of the other ones have been bad. The choice of their reverse retro, the first one, I mean, that wasn't even bad. It was just kind of disappointing. So I would say that they've had one bad one. Take number 7. The Blackhawks just don't look right in black. I completely disagree. I think they look great in black. And maybe the reason they don't look right in black is because they don't really ever wear it. And they should. They absolutely should. I think it would be much better if they wore black. I think I think there's room. We complain, as I mentioned in the other video, I think a lot of people complain about how many teams wear black, but I think some teams should wear black, and I think the Blackhawks should be one of them, especially because we have tons of primarily red with black teams, Carolina being one of them, as I just mentioned. Chicago kind of distancing themselves from that and wearing primarily black, I would be 100% down for. So, no, I think they should absolutely be wearing black. So, I disagree with this one. Take number 8. The Avs home and away jerseys are the worst set they've had. No, not even close. The Reebok Edge ones with like the apron type striping, that's much worse. I don't know how anyone could agree with that. Pick number 9. With a little more detail, the Blue Jackets jerseys would be good. Well, I mean, that could probably apply to most of these jerseys. Like, if this jersey was a little bit better, it would be good. I think what you're trying to say is that the Blue Jackets jerseys aren't far away from being a good jersey, because a lot of people don't think it's a good jersey. It's not really. The away is fine, the home is quite plain. Maybe with the away, I think a few little things would make it better, but with the home, it would need quite a drastic change. I don't think you could like minute detail the home into being a good jersey. Take number 10. This is one I was looking forward to. The Stars football jerseys, so the ones back in like the mid 2000s with just Dallas and the number, those jerseys weren't bad. No, like off the top of my head, if I'm thinking of like the top 10 worst NHL jerseys of all time, Dallas unfortunately gets featured on it quite a bit, and like you get you have the Mooterist jerseys, which the jerseys are great. The logo is unfortunate. The first reverse retro, that the idea sounds good, but it just looks so bad and almost all white. I think though, and maybe even the original homes, I really didn't like how they looked, but I think none of those hold a candle to how bad the mid 2000s football jerseys looked. They were just so plain. They could have added color, a contrasting color to the striping. Like you had the two skinny stripe outlines, but you had nothing in the middle. If you just added the opposite color, whether it be white or black, to that, I think it'd be fine. It wouldn't be great, but it'd be fine. But you don't. It just looks so plain and bland, and the football look of the team and number. A few teams tried it in that era. It wasn't for me, and just no, it looked awful. It's my least favorite Stars jersey. I think it's the worst Stars jersey, and it definitely would be in my top 10 worst NHL jerseys of all time easily. It was bad. And speaking of that, that sounds kind of like a fun list I'd want to do. If you guys think that'd be interesting for a later video, like top 10 best jerseys of all time, top 10 worst jerseys of all time, or anything else that comes to mind, definitely leave a comment in the comment sections. I'll take that into consideration, and when I get around to making another video, I might just do that. Anyway, take number 11. Detroit should use the gray more prominently. I don't think they should introduce gray into the primary set right away, but they should have an alt, and they should use gray, maybe black, but maybe just gray, because there's a lot of red and black teams, or maybe both red or gray and black. They should experiment a little bit more. I agree with that. Yeah, I don't know prominently immediately, but they should definitely experiment with it, especially with an alt or whatever league-wide series comes up ahead after Reverse Retro, if they continue to do that, which I hope they do. Okay, take number 12. Orange Crush wasn't good. Okay, so when I first read this, I thought he was talking about the drink, which, how dare you? But then I figured, oh, okay, no, he's probably talking about the orange homes that the Oilers have had the last few years, which, oh, okay, fair enough. I didn't like the recoloring, the brighter orange and the navy blue. I wasn't a huge fan of that. Um, I don't think it wasn't good. It was fine, but it wasn't good. But then I realized, no, he's probably talking about the orange alt that came before that in the original Oilers colors, but just an orange plain jersey, basically like their WHA jerseys. And how dare you? Those are fantastic. Yeah, no, they were good. They were really good. I think some people in our server have said that that's their favorite Oilers jersey. I can't say I agree, but I could definitely see why some people think that. It's a really colorful, it's a really fun jersey. Take 13. The Panthers' current jerseys are the worst they've had. I don't know why there's quotations around worst, unless there's some sort of added context here, but from the conversation on the channel, there didn't seem to be, so I just assume you mean they're the worst, and no, they are not. Again, going back to Chicago, both Chicago and Florida had very similar, like, apron Reebok Edge jerseys, I think, and they had, like, and my biggest pet peeve of jerseys is when they have like the full length arm, like semi stripe, but then they also had the perpendicular, like classic stripes along with it. And I think that's just such a dumb look. I hate that. And I think it looked the worst for Florida. That no, that was a gross era for jerseys, especially for Florida. Okay, take 14. The Kings need a change of jerseys. It's been a while. Maybe add another color. Yes, absolutely yes. When you say add another color, I hope you don't mean add a new color because the Kings have tons of colors they can pick from. Anything is better than what they're wearing at this point. Okay, take 15. Minnesota's current set is a bottom 10 in the league. Now, this is controversial around our Jerseys Nerd server because a lot of people really like this set. This is probably one of the spicier takes in this list, and I absolutely agree with him here. I think Minnesota's, well, okay, I don't know if I would say with 100% certainty it is in the bottom 10. I think quickly looking at it after this came out, I was thinking, well, depending on my mood that day, it could be 9th from the bottom. It could be 12th from the bottom. It's kind of in a range there, but it's certainly overrated. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm not a huge fan of how it meshes together. It's certainly better than what it used to be. If we were talking about their previous set with the red jerseys as the home, absolutely. That was a bottom 10 set for sure. Now, it's not as bad. They mesh a little bit better together, but I don't like it. I don't know what it is. I prefer their original look, and I know that's also an unpopular opinion around our parts, but yeah, I actually kind of agree with Puckman here. I don't think this set is really good, which is disappointing considering their color scheme, considering the hockey lore that's around Minnesota. You'd think they'd have something better, and yeah, maybe it's just me, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan of these jerseys. I would probably put them around the bottom 10, maybe not quite bottom 10, but close to bottom 10. So I'd agree with them enough here. Take 16. Montreal needs to at least try and make an alternate jersey. Yeah, I agree. I don't see why anyone would disagree with that. I think alternate jerseys are fun. I really don't think there's any reason for Montreal not to. Even if it was their blue reverse retro, I think that was fine. Even their light blue reverse retro with some color changes here and there, I think that'd be fine. If they wore a white jersey with the blue center stripe and just had that as their alt, fine. I mean, not a lot of teams have had white as their alt. I think this would be a fine reason for it. But one of their old ones, maybe even that like hideous barber pole one, just for funsies. I'd be down for that. They should do that. But yeah, they should have an alt. I don't know what it is, but they should have an alt. All right, halfway there. Take 17. Nashville needs a new style. Reebok Edge and Adidas were very close designs. Edit, not Reebok Edge, the 2011 redesign. Okay, so I think the 2011 redesign was really positive. I think that's the look they should kind of hover around. It was kind of awkward with the piping. It was, I don't know whether you'd like the, I don't know what you'd call this, but like the below collar, it almost looked like fangs almost. I thought that was fine. The piping I didn't really like, but the striping and the rest of the jersey and the color balance, I thought that was all fine. I like those jerseys. I think that was one of the better Reebok jerseys out there. And then of course they fixed it later and they made it more clean, but they also made it more bland. I think there's stuff here that you could make this jersey work. I don't think there's really a need to like just go completely rebrand, completely refresh. I think you can make this work, but there needs to be a bit of a refresh on their look. I think you keep the logo, you keep the simplified logo. Maybe you make it like the Mustard Cat reverse retro, but there's a little bit more to it. I think that'd be kind of cool. But I don't think you need to really go completely off the board here. So they need changes, but I don't think they need drastic changes, like Puckman's suggesting here. Okay, take 18. New Jersey is boring, and I think the Rockies colors would be the best course of action. All right, this is a fun one. First, just saying New Jersey is boring. Obviously, he's talking about the jersey, but it kind of sounds like he's just saying the whole state is boring. Let me know in the comments if you agree with that. I've never been to New Jersey. I've never been close to New Jersey, but I imagine it has its perks. But anyway, for the jersey itself, the current jersey is definitely boring. The Brodeur era jerseys were were simple, they were clean, but I think they were iconic. Maybe that's the 90s boy nostalgia talking, but I think those jerseys were excellent. I don't think they were boring. I think if they just went with that, I'd be happy. Is their current look kind of boring and dull? Maybe, yeah. And there are a lot of teams that do use black and red and white. So there's certainly room for them to do something else. And I know the easy answer is to say, well, just go back to their green color. But going with the Rockies colors is intriguing. And more specifically, I think if you just went with their reverse retro from the previous season and maybe added a little bit of yellow to it, I'll post a graphic here to tell you what I mean. Honestly, if you went with that, I'd love it. I think that'd be cool, and it would certainly set them apart from other teams. So this one I think is kind of spicy, but yeah, I take it. I agree with that. I think that'd be a really fun way to take their direction. Okay, take 19. The Islanders black Mets-esque jersey was good. So another football one, like Islanders 91, had the diamond side panels, it was black, and it really didn't have any reason to be black yet. No, those were awful. Those were terrible. I I would probably put that in the conversation as one of the worst jerseys of all time. It's not good. There was really no reason for it. There was no reason for anything that was on that jersey. Just nah. Take 20. The Rangers should experiment a little bit more. I mean, yeah, I think it'd be good if every team experiments a bit more. I think some teams need to more than others. Detroit is probably one of them. Um, the Blackhawks for sure. But yeah, just like their original six counterparts, yeah, the Rangers absolutely should. Take 21. Ottawa looked better in red. I guess technically, yeah. Their like early 2000s red swoosh jersey is like iconic. Maybe not good, but iconic. And their red Reebok ones were fine. And I don't think they've really had much better luck with any other jerseys besides like the classic, the heritage jerseys that they brought out with the big O, or um, the early 2000s black alt with like the gold and laurel striping and stuff that like they need to use that. That is their ideal look. But besides that, yeah, I think the red jerseys have probably been better, but that bar is kind of low. I think there's room for Ottawa to look better in black, but they just haven't found that black jersey that looks good yet. Take 22. Philly has also never had a bad jersey. I think all of their white and all of their orange jerseys have been good. I think their early, like the 90s black jerseys that pretty much just replicated their orange jerseys, those were fine. But the other black jerseys they've had have not been good. I, yeah, no, those ones aren't good. So, all right, this one's a doozy. Take 23. Pittsburgh has the most overrated brand in hockey, and it is getting so old seeing them rehash jerseys. Is it getting a little tiresome that they rehash jerseys? Yeah, I think there's room they could do something new. I think a more modern Penguins logo would look absolutely sick. But the first half of this, that Penguins has the most overrated brand in hockey, I don't think so. I think their brand is just fine. Um, it's simple. It's dated, but it has that old charm to it still. I think it's fine. Okay, take 24. San Jose should have either orange or silver accents. Teal, white, and black is just too boring. I think their jerseys look fine as is without it. I certainly could see them adding gray or silver. I'm glad the orange is gone. I just wish the logo was recolored so that there wasn't orange in the logo and then not in the jersey. I'd prefer. So I mean, yeah, I guess I'd agree to the silver part. if they recolored the logo so that the stick was like silver instead of orange, and then added some silver accents to the jersey, I think you'd have perfect jersey. As is right now, though, I wouldn't call it boring. I like it. I think it's still good, but I think there's room for improvement there. So I kind of agree with this, I guess. All right, take 25. Seattle jerseys? Meh. Um, I don't know. I've definitely cooled off on the Kraken jersey since when they first came out. When they first came out, I thought it was like the best thing since sliced bread. Um, does anyone use that saying anymore? Probably not. Um, I'm old. But yeah, I've cooled off on the jerseys, but I still think they're pretty sick. I think they're pretty good. Okay, take 26. St. Louis needs a change and a new alternate. I mean, if their change is the new alternate, fine. But I mean, if you're talking like a drastic redesign, nah. I think their primaries, that's fine. I think it's great. I like this. I like their look. Um, I know some people have said maybe it's better if they go with like their like fully classic jerseys full time. I don't know if I agree with that. Mind you, with the Blues, I'm more partial to the 90s set. I'm weird like that. I know that's a very hot take. Not that I'm weird, that's the very cold take. But the 90s set, I like the 90s Blues sets. But no, I think their current set is fine. Leave it as is. They definitely needed they they could use a new alt that's not like a classic thing. I think there's lots of room for them to do something kind of cool. The previous one with like the roundel and it was the darker blue, I think that was cool. Um, and I think they certainly have room to do something different. They've got lots of experimenting. Um, I think there's lots of things they could experiment with to do something kind of cool with. So I'd like to see something new with them other than just bringing back an old new alt sort of thing. So I agree with half of this. They don't need a big change, but they could use a new alt. Okay, take 27. Tampa Bay needs a change. Holy, they are boring. And yes, absolutely. I hate the fact that they just like, oh, well, we're going to be the Toronto Bay Maple Lightning now. No, it's silly. Like, I don't know, maybe it was Steve Yzerman in charge and he was like, we're going to look like the Detroit Red Wings, but blue. Um, I don't know. I don't like the Tampa Bay look. It's classy. It's in a vacuum. It's gorgeous, but it just seemed like they were treading on ground they didn't need to tread on. Especially like their previous looks. They have a couple like low key good jerseys and good logos. I just don't think they've really had a good combination of both for very long. And I think they have room that they could do something with. I think they need to add more colors. They need to be more than just blue and white because Toronto. But also like why not be like blue and like electric blue or something, or go back to blue and black? Yeah, there's lots of things they could do, and it's just disappointing that they've kind of just stuck with just blue and white, basically the blue Detroit Red Wings for a team that's not that classic. And it's Tampa Bay. It's not a hockey like it's a hockey hotbed. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like a like staple in old time hockey lore. So it doesn't have the nostalgia to back up what is a pretty boring design. So yeah, they need a drastic, just complete makeover. More conservative change than Tampa, but still a change. Talking about the Leafs. Um, I think what they should do is wait and see what happens this year. And then because I think the next 2 years, there's going to be a drastic shift in personnel and identity in the team. Whether you have Matthews still there or not, whether you have the rest of the core there or not. And then I think you kind of play by that and then start to bring in like not a like completely new modern look, but something new and different, I think. Um, I think it'd be time for them to refresh. The good thing about the Maple Leafs is they have tweaked their jerseys like a whole bunch in their history. So I don't think it wouldn't be all that drastic of a change to like add a stripe here, thicken a stripe there, whatever. It wouldn't be the end of the world at all, and I think it'd be kind of refreshing. I don't think they need to change out a logo. Maybe if they brought back one of their older style logos, that might be kind of cool, but I think their logo is fine. Just maybe freshen up the jersey a little bit, do something different. A lot of people have suggested maybe using the reverse retro 2 as the base. I wouldn't be totally against that. I think they have better options, but something like that, I think that'd be fine. Take 29. The navy blue and maroon was the Canucks' best branding. In a vacuum, I think the gradient jersey looks best. And I think like the rest of the set looks best. The like maroon and navy set. I think it's a cool look. But the green and blue is a much cleaner look. It's also an unused color scheme in the NHL, not including like the Whalers, who aren't around anymore, obviously. So I think they fill like a color niche that deserves to be filled. And Vancouver is certainly a good candidate to be like a Cascadian blue and green team. So would I call it? I mean, it's close. I like both. I like both for very different reasons, and it's probably more the nostalgia talking why I like the gradient maroon and blue ones. So I don't know. I think their current look is their best look, but both have very solid points to them. Both are good, and if they decided tomorrow they're going to bring back that look, I wouldn't be brokenhearted at all. I'd be completely happy with that. I do wish they would do something with green though, like Abbotsford is in the AHL. I think a green jersey or even, at least just an alt would be really cool for them. But until we get to that point, I think their branding's fine. Just leave it as is. Take 30. Vegas has too much unorthodox colors. Hard to make designs for them without a recolor of old jerseys. I don't know. I don't think that's true. I think their colors are certainly unorthodox. I think the only problem with Vegas is there's one too many color. Like I think if you make any design, like take the above jersey for example. I like it's my favorite Vegas jersey, I think. But I think if you just got rid of the red, the little bits of red in there, I think it's an even better jersey. Their reverse retro, that was just like black and gold. I think that it looks clean. I think that looked perfectly fine. I'm sure you could do some designs with like the steel bluish gray and gold and black or red, but not both. Um, yeah, I think their problem is like it's kind of it's a fairly classy looking branding, and I think they just have like one too many colors involved, and usually it's red because red isn't even really in their logo. So I don't think the colors themselves are the problem. It's just I think they try to fit too much in. So when they do something simple, and usually that's when they remake some of their old jerseys, I think that those are their better jerseys because they're simpler. They don't have as many colors. And I think you could easily do that. You can make a simple old style jersey without doing the exact repeat of something they've done before. Absolutely. So I wouldn't say they have too much unorthodox colors at all. I just think they use too many of those colors all at once. Okay, 31. Washington needs a change, but not because the current jerseys are bad. It's funny because like a lot of people hate on the Washington Capitals jerseys. I've kind of started to like them more with time. Maybe that's because less teams are going with like the like full length arm striping. Um, or maybe just I don't know. Ovi looks good in those jerseys. I think he looks good in those jerseys better than he does in black jerseys. But I don't know. Maybe that's just because he's done more in those red and white jerseys. I don't know. They do need to change, though. I agree. They should do something different. I don't know if they should go back to black and gold. or bronze, I guess, or just like rework their jerseys a bit. I know some people have said that they should use their alt as kind of a base, and I disagree with that. I think their alt is pretty. The base would be good, but just not with like that big, thick, dumb W logo. But I mean, they certainly have other logos in their back pocket they can use as a base if they don't want to create a new one. But I think you could also quite easily make a solid looking new eagle logo or something equivalent for them. It probably would be best to like actually have like a logo for them and not just like the capitals word mark anymore. And certainly do not just put caps as their logo. That was bad. Do never do that again. But yeah, overall, yeah, I think they do need a change. Just top to bottom logo, jerseys, everything. It doesn't even have to all be new. They can use what they currently use, things they have done in the past, just mix it up a little bit. But they do need a change. All right, last one. Saving. I don't know if the best is the word for it, but saving this take for last. Take 32. Winnipeg should be Atlanta. Ponder that for a second. Okay, time's up. Now, do you mean that we should take Winnipeg and put it somewhere else? Or do you mean that the Jets should revert back to being the Atlanta Thrashers? Or do you just mean visually the Thrashers are better than the Jets? First off, if we just put Atlanta into Manitoba, I'd be down with that. I've been to Atlanta, great place. It'd be nice to have like such a big hubs, another big hub city in Canada. If that's what you mean, fine. Sorry, Winnipeg people. No, actually, no, take that back. Keep Winnipeg, but like maybe put it beside Winnipeg. Like swap it with Brandon or something, or put it in Flin Flon. Sorry, Flin Flon, you've been replaced. Here's Atlanta. Um, anyway, if you're talking about the Jets and their existence, no, the Jets should be in the league. That's please don't get rid of them again. Bring Atlanta back if you want. I don't care, but keep the Jets. The Jets are really cool. It's cool to have the Jets back again. But I will say, aesthetically, jersey-wise, Atlanta hasn't been perfect, but I think overall the Thrashers jerseys are better top to bottom than the Jets jerseys have been. Mostly just considering the current franchise. But I think Thrashers jersey is a lot more unique. It's a lot more fun. Most of them hit pretty good. There were a few really bad Thrashers jerseys, but I think for the most part, the Thrasher jerseys have been good, whereas the Jets jerseys have been okay at best, unless you're going for nostalgia value in their like classic jerseys. Otherwise, I think Winnipeg needs a refresher. They shouldn't copy from the Thrashers, but I think they need something a little bit new, a little bit different. And if Atlanta came back and they decided to go, hey, we're going to look exactly the same as we did in 2000, whatever, I'd be all for that. That's it. We made it through all of them. Jesus, that took forever. So, yeah, let us know what you guys think in the comment section. If there's any of the takes you agree with, if there's any you disagree with, let us know in the comment section. If you guys like this video, there's a whole bunch of us, especially a bunch of the Jersey nerds. They've done this on the Discord server as well. If you want to check that out, link at the bottom for the Discord server if you want to get invited. Otherwise, if you guys like this video and you want me to do another one featuring one of the other lists people have made, or if you want to hear my list, I haven't posted mine yet, and I don't know, I'm thinking maybe I'll save that and just make a video of it. But if you guys would like to see that, let us know. If there's any other content you guys would be interested in seeing, feel free to give us a comment, give us a shout. If you can like the video, that would really be helpful for us. Tell your friends to watch the video, help us grow as a channel. Subscribe, that would be really awesome. Come join our community on Discord, check us out on Twitter, all that fun jazz. Or X, I guess it's it's called. I'm not going to get used to that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.